Okay, so today we will be doing Cambridge 9 Test 1. So let's prepare that first. Here, let's open a new tab for that. Let's just put them together side by side there. That's for the answer key. Let's have a... Where is the... Oh, there is no drawing, guys. I cannot draw over it. Oh no, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to open a Word document. I'll just answer it there, guys. Okay, let's just do it the old-fashioned way. Somehow there's something wrong with the PDF file. So let's X that out. There, this is our answer questionnaire. Then let's open a Word document. That's where I will type in my answers. Okay. So let's begin the clock running in the meantime. There. Okay. The clock is now running. Okay, so this is Cambridge 9 Test 1. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence. There are a list of headings. Reading passage 2. Okay. Then this is all about Perkins. Here. Okay, so this is what I would normally do. So I will just scan. Okay. The man who invented synthetic dyes. That's true, false, not given over there. 7 items. And then no more than 2 words. That's really nice. I love no more than 2 words, no more than 1 word, no more than 3 words. Reading passage 2 is the list of headings. So there are only 4 paragraphs. Yahoo! And then the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Then no more than 3 words and or a number. I love that. Yes, no, not given. Oh, there's a lot of items. 6 items. And the history of the tortoise. Okay, that appears to be an easy reading passage. The middle reading passage appears to be the hard one. So no more than 2 words there. And then true, false, not given there. I wonder what the last questions are. Oh, this is a process. That looks intimidating, but it's actually very easy. It's like no more than 2 words and or a number. So we will have our answer key. Oh, there's a final multiple choice question. Okay. All right. So I will choose to do the first one. There, the one on William Henry Perkin. Time is running, so we have our answer key over here, there. But this is not how it looks like in the actual exam, guys. So let's try to simulate it as best as we can. So let's just minimize that. And let's put it side by side there. Okay, we gotta hurry. Time is running. There. There. Stay there. And then this one, we're gonna minimize this. Okay, minimized. There. We'll put it side by side there. This is the passage. Let's make this bigger. There. Let's make that smaller. Okay, there you go. Let's make this bigger. So that's how it roughly looks like, guys, in the actual exams. So we will have the numbers here. 1, 2, wait, let's just fix the paragraphing. There. Okay, so let's go. Their time is running. The man who invented synthetic dyes. So based on our methodology, so New students, don't worry, there is a video on this. So in the meantime, what you're looking at is a demonstration. So, which one do I do first? Before Perkins' discovery, with what group in society was the color purple associated? So, okay, so it's either no more than 2 words or the true false not given. Okay, so it doesn't matter to me, either one of them. I love both question types. So Michael Faraday was the first person to recognize Perkins' ability as a student of chemistry. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we will now look for Michael Faraday's. So that's how it goes, guys. That was the first question, so most likely it is in the beginning of the reading passage. This is how we do it. We just go straight to the question. And just try to answer each question. We don't there's Michael Faraday over there. So what was the question again? He was the first person to recognize Perkins' ability as a student of chemistry. Okay, so let's read that part, guys. This is the only time we read. As a student at the City of London School, Perkin became immersed in the study of chemistry. His talent and devotion to the subject were perceived by his teacher, Thomas Hall, who encouraged him to attend a series of lectures given by the eminent scientist Michael Faraday at the Royal Institution. These speeches fired the young chemist's enthusiasm further, and he later went on to attend the Royal College of Chemistry, which he succeeded in entering in 1853 at the age of 15. So I do not see any mention of Faraday having recognized Perkins. What happened is just Perkins attended the lecture. It was Thomas Hall who encouraged Perkins to attend a series of lecture, but it doesn't say if Thomas Hall was the first teacher. See, so I guess the crucial word there is the first person. There is no person who we can call as the first person. So to me, that's a not given. All right, not given there. And then Michael Faraday suggested Perkins should enroll in the Royal College of Chemistry. Did he suggest that? These speeches fired the young chemist enthusiasm further, and later went on to attend the Royal College of Chemistry, which he succeeded in entering in 1853, the age of 15. So, not given as well. It doesn't say who persuaded, who suggested that he should enroll there. Wala eh. Wala sa akin yun. So, not given ulit. Correct? It's another not given. And then, wait. There. Okay, what's happening? There. Okay. Two not givens in a row. Then Perkin employed August Wilhelm Hoffman as his assistant. So let's look for Hoffman. There's Hoffman. So at the time of Perkins' enrollment, the Royal College of Chemistry was headed by the noted German chemist August Wilhelm Hoffman. Ooh, so Perkins' scientific gifts soon caught Hoffman's attention, and within 2 years, he became Hoffman's youngest assistant. So it's the other way around. So it was Hoffman who employed Perkins. So that's a false for me. Okay. So number 4 might likely be true already. Not given, false, true. Perkin was still young when he made the discovery that made him rich and famous. Not long after that, Perkin made the scientific breakthrough that would bring him both fame and fortune. Okay. How old was he? Oh, he entered the College of Chemistry at the age of 15. And then within 2 years, he became an assistant, so 17. Not long after that, Perkin made the scientific breakthrough. Yan. So he was still young. Perkins was still young when he made the discovery that made him rich and famous. So that's a true. Okay, the trees from which quinine is derived grow only in South America. So quinine, let's look for that. So magkakasunod lang, no, guys? They're just in succession. It's not really very hard to find. There. At the time, quinine was the only viable medical treatment for malaria. The drug is derived from the bark of the cinchona tree, native to South America, and by 1856, demand for the drug was surpassing the available supply. Native to South America. Thus, when Hoffman made some passing comments about the desirability of synthetic substitute for quinine, it was unsurprising that the star pupil was moved to take up that challenge. What is quinine use? It's a drug. Okay. Drug used for malaria. The trees from which quinine is derived grow only in South America. Only daw, guys. Only. The drug is derived from the bark of the tree native to South America by 1856. Hindi, walang nakalagay na only, guys. Wala na. That is not given to me. Okay. And then number 6. Anis. Perkin hoped to manufacture a drug from a coal tar waste product. So coal tar. Where is coal tar? There. So during his vacation in 1856, Perkins spent his time in the laboratory in the top floor of his family's house. He was attempting to manufacture quinine from aniline, an inexpensive and readily available coal tar waste product. He was attempting to manufacture quinine from aniline, an inexpensive and readily available coal tar waste product. So true. Perkin was hoped to manufacture a drug from a coal tar waste. Was it a drug? Yeah, it's a drug for malaria, no? So true. True. And then, so the pattern's making sense, guys. So not given, false, true, not given, true. And then the number 7 might be false. Perkin was inspired by the discoveries of the famous scientist Louis Pasteur. Where is Pasteur? I cannot find. There's Louis Pasteur. So, during his vacation in 1856, Perkins spent his time in the laboratory at the top floor of his family's house. He was attempting to manufacture quinine from aniline. Despite his best efforts, however, he did not end up with quinine. Instead, he produced a mysterious dark sludge. Luckily, Perkins' scientific training in nature prompted him to investigate the substance further. Incorporating potassium dichromate and alcohol into the aniline at various stages of the experimental process, he finally produced a deep purple solution, and proving the truth of the famous scientist Louis Pasteur's words, "Chance favors only the prepared mind." Perkins saw the potential of his unexpected find. And then, wala nang Pasteur dun. No? So guys, Wala. Not given. Wala naman. Hindi naman sila nag-meet. So sa akin, not given yan. Was inspired by the discoveries of the... No. Not given, guys. Not given. Yon, that's a pattern. Not given, false. True, not given, true, not given. Huh? There's only one false answer. Whoa. Michael Faraday was the first person to recognize. Isa lang yung false, guys. Baka false tong number 1. His talent and devotion to the subject were perceived by his teacher, Thomas Hall. O baka nga, hindi si Faraday, si Thomas Hall. Baka nga false to, guys. False. Baka, kasi I'm looking at the pattern. False, not given, false, true. Not given, true, not given. That's a better pattern. Okay, and then let's go down. Before Perkins' discovery, with what group in society was the color purple associated? Okay, nandito na siya banda. Historically, textile dyes were made from such natural sources as plants and animal excretion. Some of these, such as the glandular mucus of snails, were difficult to obtain and outrageously expensive. Indeed, the purple color extracted from a snail was once so costly that in a society at the time, only the rich could afford it. Further, natural dyes tended to be muddy in hue and fade quickly. It was against this backdrop that Perkins' discovery was made. So, the rich. Before Perkins' discovery, with what group in society? The rich group was the color purple associated. The rich nga. Wala na ba? The rich. The rich yan, guys. The rich. The rich. How many words ba yun? No more than 2 words. So, the rich. Next. What potential did Perkin immediately understand that this new dye had? Okay, potential. Nabasa ko yung potential. Perkin quickly grasped that this purple solution could be used to color fabric, thus making the world's first synthetic dye. Realizing the importance of this breakthrough, he lost no time in patenting it. Perhaps the most fascinating of all Perkins' reactions to his find was his nearly instant recognition that the new dye had commercial possibilities. What's the answer? What potential did Perkin immediately understand that this new dye had? So, commercial possibilities yung answer, guys. It had commercial possibilities. What potential did this new dye had? It had commercial possibilities. That's the answer. Okay. Potential, making it the world's first synthetic dye. Commercial synthetic dye ba yung sagot, guys? What potential did this new dye had? Synthetic. Hindi. Commercial possibilities yun, guys. Ayun na yung dye, oh. What was the name finally used to refer to the first color Perkin invented? The name. Tyrian purple. It later became commonly known as mauve from the French for the plant used to make the color violet. He asked advice of Scottish dye works owner Robert Puller, who assured him that manufacturing the dye would be well worth it if the color remained fast, would not fade. And the cost was relatively low. So over the fierce objection of his mentor Hoffman, He left college to give birth to the modern chemical industry. So mauve is the answer. Mauve. There, mauve. Purple, mauve. And then, what was the name? Ah, where are we? Okay. What was the name of the person Perkin consulted before setting up his own dye works? Hmm. Mm, no. It's this one. It is Robert Puller. That's the one. He has advice of Scottish Dye Works owner. Robert Puller. Robert Puller from Scotland. Then, in what country did Perkins' newly invented color first become fashionable? London. Mm, receive a commercial boost from the Empress Eugene. Very soon, mauve was the necessity. France! Very soon, mauve was the necessity shade for all the fashionable ladies. Not to be outdone, England's Queen Victoria also appeared in public wearing a mauve gown, thus making it all the rage. So, France. There. France. In France. Working according to the passage, which disease is now being targeted by researchers using synthetic dyes? Mm, 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 here, they were used to stain previously invisible microbes and bacteria, allowing researchers to identify such bacilli as tuberculosis, cholera, and anthrax. Artificial dyes continue to play a crucial in what would have been again in what would have been particularly pleasing. Their current use is in the search for a vaccine against malaria. Is now being targeted by researchers. Malaria, yan guys. Okay. Woohoo! We are done with that. Panis. So list of headings. And we will do that last. Okay, is there anybody out there? Okay. How many minutes have we had? Oh, dapat 40 minutes left, guys. So, 38 minutes pa lang. Oh. Diba? Ay, hindi. Dapat 40 minutes. Ay, natagalan tayo dun. Let's go, let's go! Hoo-hoo! What is the life expectancy of Earth? Nasaan ka? Nasaan? Ayun! We have had civilization on Earth for perhaps only a few thousand years, and the threats of nuclear war pollution over the last few decades have told us that our survival may be tenuous. Will we last another 2,000 years, or will we wipe ourselves out? Since the lifetime of our planet, like ours, is several billion years. Several billion years ang sagot. No more than 3 words. So, several billion years yon. So, 14. Let's answer 18 here. Several billion years. Ooh, wow, that's a long lifespan. What kind of signals from other intelligent civilizations are SETI scientists searching for? Pero guys, I wanna read A, no? Kasi we have read this part, no? Basahin na natin lahat yon. May sagot na ba yung A? Oh, may sagot na yung A. Kala mo, nasa B pa lang, hindi pa nasasagot. Okay. Yahoo! So what are we looking for next? What kind of signals are we looking 4. Mhm. Discussing whether mm, in discussing whether we are alone, most SETI scientists adopt two ground rules. First, UFOs are generally ignored. Ano ba yung SETI? That is yun. Search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Okay. Second, we make a very conservative assumption that we are looking for a form that is pretty well like us since it differs radically. If it differs radically from us, we may well not recognize it as a life form, quite apart from whether we are able to communicate with it. In other words, the life form we are looking for may well have two green heads and 7 feet, but it will nevertheless resemble us, that it should communicate with its fellows, be interested like the sun. What kind of signal? Hindi ko makita yung signal, guys, pero nasagutan na nabasa na natin yung B, no? So, two ground rules, no? First, we are not looking for a UFO. Second, we're looking for a life form that's like us. So, anong sagot doon? B, seeking the transmission of radio signals ba yun? Assumptions underlying the search. Reasons for search. Ayun yung 5 reasons. So, wala na yan. Knowledge of extraterrestrial life forms, likelihood of life. It's assumptions. Underlying the search for assumptions ba yun? Wait. Two ground rules kasi, guys, no? Seeking the transmission, no. Appropriate responses, no. Vast distances, no. Assumptions yun. Yung 5 given, knowledge of extraterrestrial life forms, no. Likelihood. Assumptions yun. So, 14 is B. Okay. Tapos, balik tayo dun sa ano. Iwan muna natin yan, guys. Ang dali lang, no? Panis. The signals, radio signals ba yun? Ayun. We do not even know how many stars have planets, and we certainly do not know how likely it is that life will arise naturally given the right conditions. However, when we look at the 100 billion stars in our galaxy, my God, man, and 100 billion galaxies in the observable universe, it seems inconceivable that at least one of these planets does not have a life form. In fact, the best educated guess we can make using the little that we do know about condition for carbon-based life leads us to estimate that perhaps 1 in 100,000 stars might have a life-bearing planet orbiting it. That means our nearest neighbors are perhaps 100 light years away, which is almost next door in astronomical terms. So, ayun yung assumptions. Ay hindi, no, even when we make these assumptions, referring to that, tama. Ito yung assumptions. Our understanding of other life forms is still, we do not know. Okay, so ano yung C is knowledge of extraterrestrial life forms yan, guys. That is C, number 15, C. Okay. Pero hindi pa natin nakikita yung signal. Nasaan na ba yung signal na yun? What kind of signal? Nasaan na ba yung signal? I do not see any signal. Anyway, an alien civilization could choose many different ways of sending information across the galaxy, but many of these either require too much energy or else are severely attenuated while traveling the vast distances across the galaxy. It turns out that for a given amount of transmitted power, radio waves, ayan na, in the frequency range of 1,000 to 3,000 megahertz travel the greatest distance. So all the searches to date have concentrated on looking for radio waves in this frequency range. So, radio waves yun, guys. Radio waves, finally, lumabas ka rin. So, radio waves. Pero I wanna answer letter D dun sa taas, kaya babasahin ko na rin lahat yan, guys. So far, there have been a number of searches by various groups around the world, including Australian searches using a radio telescope at Parkes, New South Wales. Grabe, ang dami kasi nilang pera, guys, kaya they can make all of these researches. Until now, there have not been any detection from the few hundred stars which have been searched. The scale of the searches has been increased dramatically since 1992 when the US Congress voted NASA $10 million per year for 10 years. Wow, man. To conduct a thorough search for extraterrestrial life. Much of the money in this project is being spent on developing the special hardware needed to search many frequencies at once. The project has two parts. One part is a targeted search using the world's largest radio telescopes, the American-operated telescope in Arecibo, Puerto Rico, and the French telescope in Nancy, in France. This part of the project is serving the nearest 1,000 likely stars with high sensitivity for signals. The other part is an undirected search, which is monitoring all of space with a lower sensitivity using the smaller antennas, NASA's Deep Space Network. So what could that be? Letter D. Yun yung radio waves. Nakita ko yun eh. Seeking the transmission of radio signal from planets yun. Hindi 2 yun. Vast distances to Earth's closest neighbors. Could that be the one? Pwede rin yun. Number 4 given na. Number 5 given na. Number 6 given na. Likelihood hindi. So, pwedeng 1 or 3. 1 or 3 yun, guys. Ano nga ba yung 3 ulit? Vast distances to Earth's closest neighbors. Hindi. Ito yung vast distances yun. Yun yung C. Yung D, yun yung signals. Signals yun. Seeking the transmission of radio signals from planets. So, that is... Ha? Ano ba to? Uy, ano ba to? Paragraph C is... Number 15 is... paragraph D is... 1. Mali-mali yung mga sagot ko. Ano nga ba yung paragraph C? Knowledge. Vast distances ba yung C? Pabalikan ko lang, guys, ha? Okay. Vast distances. Vast distances yung C. Ito, vast distances yun. Hindi siya reasons or knowledge of extraterrestrial. Hindi yan, ito yun. 3 yan, 3. Yan. And then yung B, assumptions, di ba? Yun. Okay. Mamaya ka na ulit. Balikan natin to sa baba. How many stars are the world's most powerful radio telescope searching? Nandun yung sagot, guys. 1,000. 1,000. 1,000 yung sagot. How many stars? 1,000 yung sagot doon, guys. Number 20 is 1,000. 20. 1,000. Okay. And then, teka guys, tatapusin ko na to yung paragraph. E na lang oh. Sagutan na natin yung B, C. Itong E na lang guys. Basahin na natin yung E. Tapusin na natin yarn. There's considerable debate about how we should react if we detect a signal from an alien civilization. Everyone agrees that we should not reply immediately. Quite apart from the impracticality of sending a reply over large distances at short notice, it raises a host of ethical questions that would have to be addressed by the global community before any reply could be sent. Would the human race face the culture shock if faced with a superior, much older civilization? Luckily, there's no urgency about it. The stars being searched are hundreds of light years away, so it takes hundreds of years for their signal to reach us. Oh my God. And a further 100 years for our reply to reach them. My God. It's not important that if there's a delay of few years or decades while the human race debates a question of whether to reply. Okay. Whew. Gosh. Reply. Mm, appropriate responses, panis, Yahoo! Two. Okay. Murder na natin tong true false not given, man. Patay ka, man. Papatayin ka na, man. Alien civilizations may be able to help the human race to overcome serious problems. Nandito yun, guys, eh. Nasa A. Ayun, oh. SETI is another cog in the machinery of pure science, which is continually pushing out the horizon of our knowledge. However, there are other reasons for being interested whether life exists elsewhere. For example, we have had civilization on Earth for perhaps only a few thousand years, and the threats of nuclear war pollution over the last few decades, dapat binanggit yan, global warming, oh, have told us that our survival may be tenuous. Will we last another 2,000 years, or will we wipe ourselves out? Since the lifetime of our planet is several billion years, we can expect that the older civilizations do survive and their ages will range from 0 to several billion years. Thus, any other civilization that we hear from is likely to be far older. Or there is it tells us that long-term survival is possible and gives some cause for optimism. It's possible that they may pass on the benefits of their experience in dealing with threats to survival, such as nuclear war and global pollution. So, yes, the answer is yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Then, SETI scientists are trying to find a life form that resembles humans in many ways. Yes din yun. Andito yun. We're looking for a life form that's pretty well like us. Oh, yes! Dalawang yes na yun, guys. Then, Americans and Australians have cooperated in joint research projects. Nag-cooperate ba sila? Ayan na yung US Congress. Ayan yung Australian. So far, there have been a number of searches by various groups around the world, including Australian searches using the radio telescope at Parkes, New South Wales. Until now, there have not been any detections from the scale of them have been increased dramatically since the US Congress voted. Wala, it doesn't say, guys. Not given yan. Walang sinabi. Not given. Not given. Oh, 24, no na yarn. No na yarn. So far, SETI scientists have picked up radio 7. No! Ay, tama ba? They have not picked up any radio signals. The NASA project attracted criticism from not given ulit. Not given na naman. Ala, yes, yes, not given, not given. Ala, ganun ba talaga yarn? Wala naman, walang sinabi. Wala talaga, Wala, not given talaga. So 25 is, ay, nasa na ba tayo? So wait, that's yes. Yes din yan. Not given yung 23. No yung 24. 25 is not given na naman. And then 26 It will be important to respond promptly. No siya. No. So yes, yes, not given. No, not given. No. Okay. Woo! Ilang minutes na lang. 20 minutes. Saktong-sakto lang, guys. Turtles, baba na tayo dito. Huwag na tayo magbasa. No more than 2 words. What? Tapos, true, false, not given. Tapos, ayun. Okay. Unahin na natin to. What had to transfer from the sea to land before any animals could migrate? Nandito yun sa unahan. If you go back far enough, everything lived in the sea. At various points in evolutionary, enterprising individuals within many different animal groups move out into the land, sometimes even at the most parched desert, taking their own private seawater with them in blood and cellular fluids. In addition to the reptiles, mammals, and insects, which we see all around us, other groups that have succeeded out of what include scorpions, snails, crustaceans such as woodlice and land crabs, millipedes and centipedes, spiders, and various worms. And we mustn't forget the plants without whose prior invasion of the land, none of the other migrations, plants and sagot, plants yarn, plants. Which two processes are mentioned as those in which animals had to make big changes as they moved into land? Moving from water to land involved a major redesign area, which breathing and reproduction. I return to the sea again. Seals have only gone part way back. They show us what the intermediates might have been like on the way to extreme cases such as whales and dugongs. Whales, including the small whales we call dolphins and dugongs, with their close cousin the manatees, ceased to be land creatures altogether, reverted to the ay bumalik sila. They don't even come ashore to breathe. They do, however, still breathe air, having never developed anything equivalent to the gills of their earlier marine incarnation. Turtles went back to the sea a very long time ago and like, ay, bumalik din ang turtles. Return to the water, they breathe air. However, they are in one respect less fully given back to the water than whales or dugongs, for turtles still they lay their eggs on beaches. So, breathing and reproduction. Breathing and reproduction yarn. Breathing. And then, comma, reproduction yarn. Which physical feature possessed by their ancestors do whales lack? Gills. Gills yun, guys. Gills. Gills. Wala silang gills. Then, what's next? Which animals? Ichthyosaurs. Ichthyosaurs have resembled. Nasaan ka? Yarn. Yarn. There's evidence that all modern turtles are descended from a terrestrial ancestor which lived before most of the dinosaurs. There are two key fossils, Chirva ek ek and Chirva ek ek, dating from early dinosaur times, which appear to be close to the ancestry of all modern turtles and tortoises. You might wonder how we can tell whether fossil animals live on land or in water, especially if only fragments are found. Sometimes it's obvious ichthyosaurs were reptilian contemporaries of the dinosaurs. With fins and streamlined bodies, the fossils look like dolphins and they surely live like dolphins in the water. With turtles, it is a little less obvious. One way is to tell by measuring the bones of their forelimbs. So, ano yung sagot? Dolphins. Dolphins yon. Nasaan yung ichthyosaur? Meron pa ba? Dolphins lang. Ayun o. Ayun o, dolphins. Yahoo, Panis. Okay, dolphins. And then, okay na yan. True, false, not given. Turtles were among the first group of animals to migrate back to the sea. First ba sila? A good number of land animals turned around, abandoned their and they show us right whales and dugongs. Bumalik sila sa dagat. Tapos, turtles went back to the sea a very long time ago, and they, like all vertebrate returnees to the water, they breathe air. However, they are, in one respect, less fully given back to the whales. Turtles went back a very long time. Hindi naman binanggit kung sila yung first. Hindi binanggit eh. Among the first group of animals to migrate back to the sea. So, pwede siyang ano guys, pwede siyang true or not given. Titingnan na lang natin yung pattern, no? Okay. And then, it's always difficult to determine whether an animal lived when its fossilized remains are incomplete. Mali yata. Yun, nandito yun eh, oh. Ayun, oh. You might wonder how we can tell whether fossil animals live on land and water, especially if only fragments are found. Sometimes it's obvious ichthyosaurs were reptilian contemporaries and with fins and streamlined. These fossils look like dogs. They usually live like dolphins. With turtles, it's a little less. It's always difficult. No. Sometimes it's obvious daw eh. Diba? And then the habitat can fossilize remains. So can be determined by their the habitat. You know, sometimes it's obvious ichthyosaurs were reptilian. The fossils look like dolphins. And they surely live like dolphins in the water. So true yun, guys. 33 is true. So not given to guys. Not given yon. Not given yung. Oo nga, hindi nga naman sinabi. Not given nga. Okay, 7 na lang guys. Ano to? Method of determining whether the ancestors of turtles and tortoises come from. 71 species of living turtles are examined. A total of blank were taken from the bones of their forelimbs. Hanapin natin yung 71. Ayun o! Woohoo! Walter Joyce and Jacques Gaultier obtained 3 measurements in these particular bones of 71 species. They use a kind of triangular graph paper to plot the 3 measurements against one another. All the land tortoise species form a tight cluster of points in the upper part of the triangle. All the water turtles cluster in the lower part of the triangle. There was no overlap except when they added some species that spent time both in water and on land. Sure enough, these amphibious species show up on the triangular graph approximately halfway between the wet cluster and the dry cluster. The next step was to determine whether the bones of Churvaekek and Churvaekek leave us in no doubt. Their points in the graph are right in the thick of the dry cluster. Both of these fossils were dry land, or they come from the era before our turtles returned to the water. So, a total of blank were taken from the bones. Ano yung bones of their forelimbs? Three measurements. 3 measurements, guys. Obtain 3 measurements in these particular bones of 3 measurements yon. And a total of 3 measurements were taken from the bones of their forelimbs. So, no more than 2 words. So 34 is 3 measurements. 3 measurements. Next, the data was recorded on a blank graph paper. Graph paper. Triangular graph paper. Bakit no more than 2 words lang siya? Oh my God. On a triangular graph or graph paper. Triangular graph, guys. Kasi importante yung triangulo dun eh. Triangular graph. Yun. Land tortoise by a dense blank of points towards the top. So, cluster. Cluster is the answer. Dense cluster points towards the top. Cluster. See the bottom part. Saying that from some living blank species is added to the other results. Living. Living blank species. All the land tortoises. Except when they added some species. Sure enough, these amphibious. Amphibious is the answer. And added, the same data was collected from some living amphibious. The points of these species turned out to be positioned about blank of the triangle between the land tortoises. Halfway, yarn. Halfway. Oh, halfway. Yahoo. 38. Halfway. 39. 40. Yahoo. Okay. 39. The position in the both of these ancient creatures were what? Dry land tortoises. Dry land tortoises, guys, is the answer. Dry land is considered one word and tortoises is another word there. Okay, and then 40. Kita mo yan, guys. Look at that. Oh, we haven't even read this part. Oh, not even that part. Oh, all of that. Oh, diba? We're already at number 40. According to the writer, the most significant thing about tortoises is that nandito yan, guys, nasa bandang dulo yan. Somewhere towards the end. Tortoises therefore represent a remarkable double return. In common with all animals, reptiles, and birds, their remote ancestors were marine fish, and before that, various more or less worm-like creatures stretching back still in the sea to the primeval bacteria. Later ancestors lived on land and stayed there for a very large number of generations. Later ancestors still evolved back into the water and became sea turtles. And finally, they returned yet again to the land as tortoises, some of which now live in the driest of deserts. Grabe. With so much money, so much time, effort, and energy was invested in that. They're able to learn that their original life was kind of primeval. They have so much in common with sea turtle. They have made the transitions from sea to land more than once. Yun yung sagot, guys. Dion. Letter D. Yahoo! We still have 6 minutes. I don't want to use up that time now. I want to check my answers. Did I perfect this test? Are my students still awake? Gosh. Okay. See, not given false true. Who got that part? Okay, let's stop this timer. Exit out. So let's go. False, not given. False, true, not given. True, not given. So we got all of that correct. The rich there. Commercial possibilities. Mob. Robert Puller, France. Malaria. Four, seven. Oh my God, I got one wrong, guys. Oh my God. I have one mistake. Oh no. That was supposed to be three. I mean, seven. Okay, several billion years, radio waves, 1,000. Yes, yes, not given. No, not given. No, woohoo. Plants, breathing, reproduction, gills, dolphins. Not given, false, true. Three measurements, triangular graph cluster, amphibious, halfway dryland. D. Oh, I got one mistake, guys. Just that part. Why? I want to go back to that. Why did I get that wrong? This was the one I was choosing between that one and I didn't notice this one. Okay. Livelihood. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's really the right answer there. Any questions, guys? That's the end of the reading test. That's 11,650 pesos. One mistake. Band 9. Whew. Tiring. But you notice how I attacked it, right? Do not read. Like, forget the reading passage. Go straight to the questions. There. Find the answer to that. 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 That's how we do it. And then if you notice this one, the list of headings, where is that? The list of headings, that was is hard. We do that last. We do it one at a time. One at a time. There. We don't do it first. That's it. That's how we do it. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna stop the recording.